Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today's all about a review of the WLTOYS 18428B rock crawler truck. And it's basically just a 1/18 scale little rock crawler truck. We are going to go ahead and unbox this, do a full review on it, and check it on out. Take it outside after the unbox and just drive this thing around and see what it can do. Don't forget, I will have the links down in the description of this guy, down in the video description, so if you are interested, check out the pricing and everything. Not a whole lot to see on the box here. Let's just go ahead and speed this thing up and take it out of the box real quick, just so we can get out there and start driving this thing around. There we go. That's basically everything in the box. We can see it a little bit better now. There's no really any glare from the package. But look at that thing. So it's a nice orange color. You can see that it has these large wheels. And this is a 1/18 scale. Doesn't feel like there's any foam in the wheels. They're just air. But nice orange color. I really like that. Here's the controller here. Let's pull everything out of the box real quick, and then we'll start inspecting it a little further. So I'm not seeing a whole lot in the box, just basically what we saw here, and here's the instruction manual and a screwdriver. Definitely has the look. This is just a plastic little wheel on the back just for, you know, effect. I'm not seeing really any way to change the speed. There is like a little bit of a steering trim here, left and right there for the steering trim. So, you know, just a basic, here's an on-off switch here. So just a basic toy grade type of deal. Type of truck. Let's go ahead and unscrew the battery compartment and see what kind of batteries we need to put in this. Looks like it does have a little clip here, so we probably won't have to put that screw back in. But saying DC 4.8 volt. Here's the battery, comes in this little box. So it looks like it's just like a little nickel metal hydride battery with a charger that comes in that box. And the nickel metal hydride battery is 700 mAh, 4.8 volt. And that's what we're getting. There's a little bit of a better look of it. There we go. Now we can just clip that door in there. So cool, that's the truck. Let's see what the articulation's all about. So if we go ahead and move the shocks around, we can see that's the limits, the articulation of the suspension. Here's twisting it opposite ends, front to back. So pretty decent articulation. We'll have to see how this thing is. Definitely no oil in the shocks, but they are spring-loaded shocks. And we can see that we've got steering servo there in the front. There it is, going back and forth. And it doesn't have any rear steering, so it's just front steering only. And simulated lights up front. Looks like there's no lights on this guy, so just a really basic little crawler for like little kids. Looks like it's going to be fun. And here's the controller. Nice foam grip, feels pretty good in the hand. On-off switch here, and it does have a steering trim and a throttle trim here on the right, so you know, you do have some options as long as those work, but we'll be testing that out. Throttle, brake, and reverse here. And this thing takes 1, 2, 3, 4 AA batteries. Cool guys, well that's really it. Here's the charger you get in the package, just a USB charger. Plug this into your, you know, phone adapter or whatever, and you can charge the battery. It's probably going to be a slow charge, I'd imagine, maybe an hour or so to charge that battery. But let's go ahead and get out there and drive this thing, do some off-roading and see how it works. Okay guys, so we're out here in the neighborhood. Just gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a romp around the neighborhood. I got some rocks over there, some grass, some curbs, some trees, and some pavement, and let's just see how this thing does. It seems like this thing is pretty bouncy, you know. It seems like it's got too much spring in it. Maybe if you can cut out a little bit of the springs, you might get a little bit better of a crawling, because as it is, it seems like it's a little stiff. Before I get ahead of myself, let's just go ahead and power this on, and so you guys can see how it performs. Okay, so steering, not so great. You can see it turning lock to lock without any tension on the servo, but once we put it on the ground, you can see how it has a really hard time turning. But, you know, good for a little fun little toy. Let's see what it can do. So it's a little bit faster than your normal crawler. Whoops. Wow, it actually made it down that curb. Let's see if it can make it up a curb. Oh, not quite. Let's see if we hit it kind of at an angle. No, doesn't have enough articulation. So that's kind of what I was talking about. The suspension's a little too stiff, so even though it was kind of up on its side here, if it would kind of flex like this, it might actually get over some good stuff. But once I let off, you can see how it pretty much springs all the way back to its normal suspension when I take my hand off. So maybe adding some weight or cutting out some of these springs would definitely make it crawl a lot better. Try and go down the curb again. So you have to do a whole bunch of multi-point turns to even like turn a little bit, because it barely turns at all. You see how I'm turning it full to the right, and it takes a while for it to start to turn full to the left. But definitely a fun little toy. You can get over stuff like that. Would have been neat if there was maybe a second kind of gearing in it, you know, so you could crawl a little slower. Does have quite a bit of torque though. Let's see if we can get down here without flipping over. Yeah, so you can get down curbs without flipping over, no problem. This is its top speed, and you can see how it takes a while to turn. So I'm full lock to the left, and once it gets rolling, it can turn. That's its maximum turning. And then full lock to the right. Once it gets moving, it's got a little bit of a turning ability, but quick and short turns, full lock to the left and forward. You see how it just can't turn very fast, so that's a little bit disappointing. But again, this is just a very cheap toy, you know, fun for kids to have fun with. Let's go ahead and take this thing over to the rocks. See what we can do on some of these rocks over here. Again, maximum speed. You know, kind of a nice sweet spot in between for maybe a kid that wants something that's a little bit faster, not too slow, and knows how to kind of control their throttle. Let's see what kind of crawling we can do. Let's see if we can make it through this little line here and negotiate it. So that being able to turn a lot better would have been, you know, much better. And that's where we're kind of maxing out on our torque. Kind of starts to get bound up. So it's gonna get kind of hooked up, you know, on the differentials there, as you can see. So you really got to pick your lines with this one, and it's hard to pick your line because it doesn't barely turn. So I don't think it's really going to be able to make it through something like that. I'm going to have to go through a little bit of a smaller rock area. Let's try this one. There we go. Be able to get through that. Pretty much no problem. Again, you just have to keep doing multi-point turns, because I'm full lock to the right now, and it's not even barely turning. Still kind of fun though, surprisingly. You know, once if it gets hung up on something, you kind of power through it. See if we can get through these two rocks here. Not quite. It's just not turning. Get out. Okay. Oh, made it through. So you can see how it's just too tight, the suspension, a little bit bouncy, but I really think cutting off the spring would make it a lot better of a kind of a crawler climber. Yeah, but you know, it can make it through some stuff at least. Come on, baby. I could see this thing being fun with a little bit of upgrades, you know? loosen up the shocks, and you can kind of get over some stuff. Yeah, for what it is, it's fun. Anyway guys, I think that's gonna wrap it up for the little WLTOYS Conqueror, little rock racer, rock crawler. And you know, as I mentioned, a little stiff on the suspension. It would be cool if the steering turned a little better. That's kind of the main problem with this one, is it has really bad steering. You know, but cut some springs out and you might have a little fun little mini rock crawler. It actually surprisingly did a little better than I thought it would in those rocks. Even though you get some high centers here, as long as you pick your lines, which is kind of hard because it doesn't turn very good, but as long as you pick your lines, you know, you can get through some stuff. So for kids or adults that want to maybe mod this thing it's a super cheap truck too. I think it's only like between 20 and 50 bucks. So definitely if you're looking for a small toy, you know, small little crawler. I like the look of it. I mean, the orange paint job, orange and black, is really cool. It seems to have pretty good tires. There's no foam in them, but they're pretty pliable and they've got quite a bit of traction in them. And it's, you know, it's got enough torque. Anyways, for what it was, guys, I hope you enjoyed that review. I will have this guy down in the description of the video so you can check out the pricing. It's a really cheap one, kind of fun, and also it'll have more of the specs in there and probably some parts if you need some parts to order for it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.